Hello, everyone, and welcome to Plan Your Best Year Ever 2025. I'm Mikey Stiller, the CEO and co-founder of Voss Coaching Co., and I'm so happy to be the first one to welcome you to this 90-minute workshop. And just a disclaimer, we might go up to 120 minutes. So if you have something right after this, try to push it back now so that you can join us for the whole 90 to 120 minutes because we have an exceptional workshop planned for you today. I'm watching the chat and I love all of the comments coming in. I love to see where you're joining us from. So if you haven't already, let us know where you're joining us from. And if you're like me, it is hard to believe that 2024 is coming to a close. And yes, we are going to finish strong, but let's go ahead and start planning your best year ever in 2025. I mentioned on my Instagram stories that a goal is just a goal unless you have a plan and a process to achieve it. And that is where Arash's magic is. He is the absolute master at breaking down and creating breakthroughs through processes and specific plans. So if you want to know exactly what to do to accomplish all of your biggest goals in 2025, then you're in the right place. And I'm so happy you are here. Go ahead and grab a pen and a piece of paper. Set aside all of your distractions for the next 2 hours and really invest this time in yourself, knowing that this investment is going to pay dividends over next year. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on the man of the hour, your coach and my dear friend, Arash Vossoughi. Arash, how are you?
I'm great, Mikey. How are you?
I am great. You know, this is one of my favorite events that we do, and I'm so excited to get into everything you're going to be teaching us today.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I was kind of listening closely to what you were saying, and right in my mind, it was so clear that success comes down to a few simple choices. It comes down to your habits, your processes, your attitudes, and your standards. You get those all locked in, and you're going to see a massive transformation from one year to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And most people are trapped in their circumstance and they want something better. They know what they want, but immediately they're trapped in their circumstance. And we want to shift that today. I want to break everybody through because right now, at this very moment, you are not on here by accident. And I want you to know right at this moment, you have the power to change your life. And I want you to create 2024. I'm 2025. I'm still in 2024. And 2025 is your best year ever. But you've got to decide that it's going to be your best year ever. Most people never decide. And I want everybody, like Mike, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And like, look at 2024's results. Were they much different than 2025? I see 2023.
You're gonna
Yeah, I'm getting all the numbers screwed up.
Yeah.
Anyhow, were they much different than 2023? And if they weren't, there's a story being told. And we want to change that story today.
You just said something that I want everybody to really zero in on. You said you have to decide it's going to be your best year ever, and a lot of people don't decide. You know, January 1st comes along and they might hope for big things. They might want big things, but that's much different than deciding it's going to be the best. Will you talk about the distinction there?
Most people never decide. They think they have, but decision is not enough. You have to follow it with massive action, but you're not forcing the action. You're taking inspired action as you train your mind properly. So I remember when I was first getting into this, when I really was struggling, and my mentor, Bob Proctor, said to me, you need to start taking this more serious. He said, time goes by like this. And he was right. I kept thinking it was somewhere in the future, but the future is right now. And when I decided that I was going to dramatically change my life, everything changed. It didn't change overnight, but it almost seemed overnight because I started accepting a different idea of myself. I started accepting different possibilities. And that's what I want everyone to do. Most people are planning 2025, maybe the end of December. You've got to start planning it now because right now you have 3 more weeks that you're letting the universe start working on your 2025 plan, your 2025 ideas, the type of people that are going to be absolutely essential for you to achieve your goals in 2025.
Faraj, you just said something so good. I want to bring up this one point, and then I'm going to let you bring up your slides and get into the lesson. You said you decided and then you accepted the idea. One of the things you talk about with our peak performers clients is radically accepting an idea. And I just want you to talk about that really quick as we get into the lesson today.
Well, accepting an idea is no more than an assumption. Assumption means a fact. And when we accept an idea, that's what we live from. We have to deny our five senses. You right now, your results, my results, are exactly what we accepted in 2024. So we've got to accept a bigger idea in 2025 if we're going to make 2025 our best year ever. And I am committed to showing every single one of you how to make 2025 your best year ever. I'm going to show you a process that I do year in and year out. And it is what has transformed my life every day, every day. And if you do that, I promise you, it's going to transform your life.
All right, let's get after it.
All right, awesome. Let me just share my slides. Now, this is a planning session. So this is going to be active. I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask you to answer these questions. I'm going to ask you to plan 2025 in the next 60, 90, 120 minutes, however long that I can get my message across that is going to help you. Now, when you see your best year, do you believe it's possible? I want you to ask yourself that question. What image is coming in your mind? That'll tell you how your consciousness is currently conditioned. Now, you are an absolutely amazing story. But are you aware that you're an amazing story? I want you to accept this idea. Nothing is going to impact you more than your language. And I'm not just talking about what you speak audibly. I'm talking about what your inner conversations are. Your language influences your identity. It influences your actions. It influences what type of goals you go after. And at the end of the day, it influences your life. But I want you to understand you are an absolute amazing story. The research tells us for us to be on this planet, it was 1 in a 4 trillion chance. So think about those odds. And then now think about what you want in 2025. If you beat those odds, what else can you beat? Now, everything that has happened in your life has prepared you for so much greater for yourself. I said it earlier, the very cause that most people are trapped in is they're trapped into their circumstances. The world you're experiencing right now is no more than the ideas you've accepted. No more. So if we're going to change our life, we're going to change our thinking. We're going to change our consciousness. And we're going to change our programming. Now, until you do that, you're going to keep attracting the same thing. But everything that has happened in your life is absolutely essential to prepare you for what you're about to do. That means all your failures, all your successes, all your setbacks, all those times this year that you really went out of your comfort zone. Now, the only true competitor in your life is you. This is a game of you versus you. It's not you versus me. It's not you versus somebody in your environment. It's you versus you. When you beat your potential every day from the day before, you are going to live the infinite game. The infinite game is where you play life by your own rules. Now, what we have to do is we have to make an irrevocable committed decision. I was telling Mikey this when we were starting. Most people truly never decide. Now, let me ask you this. This year, did you start and stop? Did you have a hard time with discipline? Are you constantly not willing to bet on yourself? Then you never made an irrevocable committed decision. I have a great client, Jill. Jill's wonderful. And I tell her I'm on her about decision making all the time because that is a hidden commitment. If we're not deciding to be who we want to be and live that way right now, make decisions from that, then we're going to keep sabotaging ourselves. We have to decide who we're going to be. We have to decide with conviction what we're going to create. That's called accepting of an idea. Now, the point of life is to live the way you really want to live. Now, I want you to look at 2024 and I want you to answer this question. Am I living the way I truly want to live? Now, don't get emotional about it. This isn't to knock you down. I want you just to answer it. And if that answer is no, I want you to make a decision right now. In 2025, I'm going to live the way I want to live. By July, I'm going to live completely differently. I'm going to be so emotionally free. I'm not going to be attached to anything. I'm not going to force anything. Now, when you live the way you really want to live, watch the ripple effect you create in the world. The world demands us to be bold. The world wants you and needs you to be your most abundant self. But when we're playing it safe, when we're not deciding, when we don't create the right standards, processes, habits, and attitudes, we're just creating based on default. We're not living, we're just existing. I don't want you to exist. I want you to live. I lived many years of my life just existing. And my life didn't change until I decided it was going to change. And that demanded me to develop a completely different version of myself. I had to really go within and change my consciousness. Your results are not out there in the future. They're right in your heart. Once you change inside, the outside changes. Every success, every failure, every circumstance is just a direct reflection of what you've expected to be true for you. So I want you to look at this year. This year, the results are just telling you what you've expected to be true. Now, let's imagine we play a bigger game. We build a bigger idea. We develop bigger courage. Imagine what is going to be true December of 2025. Now, success always comes down to a few simple choices. Everything is a choice. What do you think decision is? It's a choice. We have to decide exactly what you want. I want you to ask yourself, what do I want more than anything else in 2025? What do I really want more than anything else? And then I want you to determine the price you have to pay. What is the price? The price is going to be what environment are you in? Because you are going to attract based on your environment. What discipline must I create in 2025? None of this works without discipline. What attitudes am I going to develop? These are the prices you have to pay. How am I going to disrupt comfort? You know, comfort's an interesting thing. Most people don't understand this. When we have resistance in our heart, when we're uncomfortable, that is your subconscious mind telling you to go to the new state. It is giving you a directive like, hey, this is what you want. You've got to do what I'm telling you. Feel this discomfort and do it. But most people don't listen to themselves. They don't listen to their intuition. And they say, I'm just going to play it safe. I've never done it before. Just because you've never done it doesn't mean you can't do it. And then you've got to ask yourself, am I willing to pay the price? Am I willing to pay the price? I want you for a moment. I wish I could see you guys. I can't see you, but I wish I could. But I want you just in this moment to close your eyes, just for a moment. And I want you to think about something you desire, something you truly desire. Now, I just want you to follow my words. Are you feeling the lack of it, or are you feeling the natural fulfillment of it? You can open your eyes. Most people are creating backwards. They're creating from lack and limitation. When we close our eyes, it'll tell us the exact programming we have inside of us. So we don't want to feel the lack of it. We want to feel your goal for 2025, the one goal you want more than anything else. I want you to feel it as natural as you feel brushing your teeth. I want you to feel so comfortable with that idea. Now, in order to do this, you have to have the courage to bet on yourself. But your inner talk is so crucial. This morning I was at the gym and I ended up hitting a personal record. And my trainer goes, this last set, what do you want to do? And I said, let's go after our record. And I said to him, I'll tell you right now, he goes, you're going to be tired. I said, forget about tired. I said, there's nobody better to bet on than me. And I said, I'm going to bet on me. I'm not going to bet on you. I didn't accept his idea. Now, how many ideas are you accepting? Like, betting on yourself is an all-day crucial action that we're doing. It's not a one day. It's not once in a while. It's not once a year. We have to bet on ourselves all day long, because until you bet on yourself, you're not going to unleash your potential. Now, I want you to ask this question. In 2025, how am I going to bet on myself? And I want you to write the answer down. In 2025, how am I going to bet on myself? Mike, is there any way I can see everybody?
Let me see what I can do. Give me a few.
I want you to write this out in the present tense. I have made a decision, an irrevocable decision, that I'm going to bet on myself greater than I've ever bet on myself. But it starts with today. I'm going to bet on myself today. As soon as discomfort shows up, I act on it. That's betting on yourself. Betting on yourself is accepting a bigger idea. Right now, you may want financial independence in 2025. Well, that's going to demand you to have a complete transformation in your consciousness. You may want to get in the best shape of your life. That's going to have you to discipline yourself. You're going to have to change your identity. Are you willing to do that? But you just do it one day at a time. Now, greatness you already have. I will tell you this. I say this all the time. Greatness is not outside of you, it's inside of you. But until you can unleash it, you have to bet on yourself. But the best definition I've ever heard on greatness is defined as selfless exceptionalism. Greatness is about knowing what you want to achieve, and you've already achieved it in your mind. Every part of your inner talk and what you speak into existence out loud is already coming from the goal achieved. And then you've got to want it badly enough. If your want is not through the roof, if you don't want it as badly as you want to breathe, I promise you, you're going to give in to the circumstances. Your want has to create the power, and the repetition of your want is what creates your power. And then you have to ask yourself, do I have the mental toughness to handle adversity along the way? Now, this is an interesting one. How do you create mental toughness? Overcoming obstacles. But you never give in to the old state of what you used to be. No matter what adversity, you always come from your goal achieved. And then, do your words and actions reflect the heart that inspire peak performance in others and make those around you better? I want you to understand this. You influence the world by your vibration. When you walk in a room, you don't have to say a word and you're influencing it. But I want you to influence it from the highest side of your personality, not from the physical side, from the confidence, from the person that bet on themselves, that the person has already achieved their deepest desires. And we've got to live. If you're in pain and fear right now, you are coming from your circumstances. We've got to release pain and fear. We've got to release it. You don't need it anymore. Stop playing it safe. It will not make you feel good. But greatness is not measured by what a person accomplishes, but by the opposition they overcome to reaching their goals. Now, adversity, you may be going through it right now. In 2024, you may have dealt with a great deal of adversity. You know, I have a client who's going through an absolute adversity right now. But you know what I told her? I said, you got this. You've got this. Because you don't have to accept the adversity. You have to accept what you want. And that's when the game is going to change. Now, any picture, this is the law, any picture firmly held in the mind in any form, that's what you want or what you don't want, will come forth. Now, let's look at 2024. That'll tell us the deepest picture you have on a subconscious level. So, this is called the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Any idea I hold in my imagination persistently over and over and over again is going to come into form. Now, most people are using their mind against them. They're using it backwards. I want you to spend 20 minutes a day emotionally involved in the picture you really want to achieve. Once you have it in your mind and persist with conviction in that picture, over and over again, it's going to show up in your reality. That's the law. But the greatest universal law is when we intelligently cooperate with it, it will make us absolute makers of the conditions and situations in our life. What is that law? Energy is. Our job is to match the mental equivalent in 2025 of what we want. So we're in a planning session, so you may not exactly have put pen to paper and wrote out your plan, but when you do, I want you to write the characteristics, the top 5 characteristics of the person who would have achieved your goal. And then we start installing those characteristics as you, one at a time. Now, the law of vibration starts in your mind. The law of vibration starts in my mind. And your attitude gets projected out into the universe. Your emotional state gets projected out. And that's why whatever we're emotionally involved with is what we attract. So are you emotionally involved with what you want, or are you emotionally involved with what you don't want? Watch your energy. Your energy will tell you. If you're right now sitting here and you're in expectation, you're in joy, you're in happiness, you're in fulfillment, you're in harmony with your goal. If you are in anxiety, if you're in fear, if you're in worry, you are going away from your goal. So you're using the law of vibration against you. Now, your mind is the most powerful tool that you have. And I want you to understand this. In this very moment, you are using the most powerful force in the universe, in this very moment. But are you using it backwards? Are you using it with absence of what you want? Are you thinking it can happen for them and not me? Are you speaking lack and limitation? Are you playing it safe? Are you emotionally involved with what you want? Or are you emotionally involved with what you don't want? Are you talking to yourself that I'm not good enough? Can this really happen? Your mind will take you to wherever you want to go. So we have to really bulletproof our mind. Understanding the law of your mind is essential if you want to create a life of freedom. And I want freedom for every one of you. And right now, if you think you can't do it, boy, are you wrong. That is accepting the wrong idea. You can absolutely do it. You can absolutely do it. But it's all in awareness. There's an amazing inner world that exists within us. That's where your goals are achieved. They're not achieved out on the playing field. Once you change your programming, the next action shows itself. And the understanding of such a world enables us to do and achieve anything we desire within the laws of the universe. I watch people all the time that I work with, that I mentor closely. And in the beginning, they're trying to make it happen. They're trying to force it. We've got to allow it to happen. We've got to master our mind. And then it's not that you don't take action, you have to take massive action. I said that earlier. but you take the right action with the right programming creates effortless success. But when I was talking about the price you have to pay, the price you have to pay is being aware of what you're thinking, being aware of your energy. That's when you get conscious of your subconscious. That's when the game changes. So awareness is everything. Once you have awareness, you never lose it. Think about this. When we learned how to ride a bike when we were young, when we become adults, isn't it interesting we still know how to ride a bike? We may have not done it for 15, 20 years, but when you have awareness, you never lose it. Money is an awareness. Joy is an awareness. So where is my awareness? Just look at your results. It'll tell you. It'll tell you. When you get in harmony with the spiritual essence of who you are, that's when magic happens. If you were there right now looking in the mirror, I taught a group this last week. I said, I want you to look in the mirror. What do you see? What you see is your physical body. You're a spiritual being living in a physical body. You're not a physical body. And when you understand what you see in the mirror is literally this much of who you are, then you're going to wake up to the truth. You're going to wake up to possibilities. But your spiritual DNA is absolutely perfect. You are infinite. There's no limit to where you could take yourself. Now, why am I doing this? You might be watching this and say, why are you doing this to start planning 2025? Because until you understand you, you're going to keep creating the same thing because all you are is on a treadmill. You're doing the same thoughts, same feelings, same actions, same results. But we've got to understand how your mind works. Now, I want you to look at this. The key state in 2025 that you have to make a standard is that I live from my wish already fulfilled. I live from my goal already achieved. Now, I want you to live there right now while I'm explaining this. Now, you have a conscious mind. It's your thinking mind. It's your educated mind. It's where your intellect resides. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. When we look at our results in 2024, this will tell us how we're using our intellect. Our results tell us exactly how we used our intellect in 2024. Now, you have a subconscious mind. This is your silent partner. This is the part of you that I want you to get very conscious of. When you create that conscious connection where you're conscious of the subconscious, that's when you're going to transform your life. But it only speaks emotion. Whatever you're emotionally involved in, it brings it forth in your reality. Now, your conscious mind, you could choose. So going to 2025, what thoughts would I choose differently about myself than 2024? And I want you to write those down. You can choose anything. Why people limit themselves is because they don't understand how their mind works. Why people don't make decisions? Because they have a very poor perception of themselves. Nothing happens without a decision. I want you to open up your mind. I want you to open up to a much bigger idea of yourself. But every day, choices define us more than anything else. The decisions you're making today are defining what you're going to create in your future. But what choices am I committed to changing? What choices am I committed to transforming into 2025? And then I want you to accept those choices right now. You start making them today. You don't make them way out in the future. That's what most people are doing. So it's going to happen way out in the future. No, it happens today. And then accepting and rejecting idea. This is the law of assumption. What you accept becomes your reality. What you're speaking, where nobody hears you speaking, your subconscious does, and it's bringing it to you. Accepting and rejecting is the most important, vital quality that we have to bulletproof. And I want you to make a decision with me today that in 2025, and 2025 is starting right now. It's not starting on the calendar year. Time is an illusion. Time is only with us. So I want you to only accept ideas that are in harmony with your goal. I want you to reject anything that is not in harmony with your goal. And if I told you This was the number one most important thing that you can do to retrain your mind to live the way you want to live your life in freedom. This is it. Now, when you accept and reject, now you're training your mind from your future self. And that's what we want to do. Now, you can originate any ideas. When we get in the origination stage in a few minutes, I want you to originate what you really want, not what you think you can achieve. I don't want it to be 1%, 5% better than 2024. I want it to be what you really want. You are the creator of your destiny. You are writing it into existence when you're writing out your vision. Originate ideas that you really want and forget about the how. The how is not up to you. Now, I watch people every year, and you may be one of them, but today you're going to change that, where they set their 2025 goals 1%, 5%, 3% greater than 2024. All they're doing is working with a small idea. I want you to work with a bigger idea of yourself. If one person can create great wealth, so can you. If one person can create great health, so can you. If one person can create great love in their life, so can you. Now, your subconscious mind must accept. So if you are not accepting or rejecting, you're automatically accepting, and your subconscious mind is going to bring that forth. Now, your subconscious does not know the difference between what's real or what's imagined. Now, why is this important? When I tell you, when I said close your eyes, are you feeling the lack of it, or are you feeling the natural fulfillment of your goal? That's critical. It is absolutely critical. It's not good enough just to know what you want. You have to live from that and build a mental picture of what you would be experiencing. And your experiencing is not out in the future. It is right now. It is right now. So I want you to really lock in and ask yourself, do I understand my mind? You may want to go back and watch me going over this over and over again until you make it a practice. Now, our intellectual mind and our subconscious mind have to be in harmony. If they're not in harmony, you are not going to create what you want. It's the intellect, how I think, that it allows us to tap in the spiritual side and change our physical results. So how I think, how I accept and reject ideas, how I'm living from my goal already achieved, that's how you tap in to where you want to go. I want you to get in the habit of really practicing visualizing 20 minutes a day. Why? Because you're tapping into the fourth dimensional world. Everything is created twice, first in your mind, then in your reality. The fourth dimensional world is the world of possibility. This is the world of your imagination. That's where it starts. Where do you think your results came from? How you used your imagination. That's where it started. You tapped into it. You just tapped into it unconsciously. Now, I want us to focus right now, and I want you to write this out. If it was impossible to fail, and I'm willing to commit to this goal, what is my number one goal for 2024? And I want you to write it out in a clear, concise statement in the present tense. For somebody, it could be, I'm so happy and grateful that I've turned my annual income into my monthly income. I've created a life of financial freedom and I love it. For somebody else, it could be, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm in the best physical shape of my life. So what is it for you? Is it that you're building a thriving business? Write it out. And I want you to write that out. All right, now This is the trick. I want you to accept this deeply, that it is impossible for this not to happen. Now, the secret lies in not working to your goal, but in accepting that you already have it. When you say it's going to be somewhere out in the future, you're telling your subconscious mind that the goal is outside of you. So it shuts off. It is not working with you. And now it's working against you. So you've got to accept it and live this way from this point forward. Now, I want you to assume that it is impossible not to happen. This is so critical. That's why I keep repeating it 10 different ways right now. Make a decision. It's done before you start. How would you feel if you want wealth? Let's say somebody's goal is wealth. It's not good enough just to want it. I want you to declare it. I'm so happy and grateful for the abundance in my life. Money flows to me easily and continuously, and I am continuously surrounded by prosperity. But it's in the feeling. These are not mere affirmation. This is a fact that knowing this is true. I want you to lock into that. Now, I told you one of the key characteristics is habits. And if you're going to create what I want for you, which is a 10x jump in 2025, I want you to write out right now and get rid of your hidden commitments. What habits no longer work with the life I want to create? I'm going to give you a couple minutes on this. What habits no longer work with the life I want to create? All right, now I want you to write out what are the four habits a year, one a quarter is going to change your life. In 2025, what are the four habits that I'm committed to install that my goal demands? Remember, I said we have to match the mental equivalent? I want you to look at your goal, that number one goal for the year. What are the four habits, one a quarter, that I'm committed to installing in 2024, in 2025, excuse me. All right, let's understand this. You never attract what you want, you attract what you are. Now, what does that mean? What I am is the consistent ideas that I accept. Now, are you starting to understand the importance of accepting and rejecting ideas? If you want a different life, you've got to accept a much different ideas for yourself. Until you change your thinking, you're not going to change your life. You can't have the same thinking, the same habits that you did in 2024 to create massive transformation in 2025. Now, expectation is your biggest contributor to success. I want you to put one of your habits is I expect only the good that I desire. I'm always expecting what I want to show up in my life. Now, most people are working with the opposite. They're expecting worst case scenarios. What if it doesn't happen? I want you to only expect what you want. Expectation with your desire ignites the law of attraction. Now, in order to do this in 2025, we have to have sincere desire for interchange and quantum leaps. Do you really desire it? Are you at that point where you're inspirationally dissatisfied, where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you working with workable principles? This is where processes come in. Processes create your results by default. You have to get brutally honest with yourself. You never put yourself down. You give yourself grace, but not excuses. And you are persistent with living from the end, living from the goal already achieved. You're persistent in your actions. You're persistent in the right strategies. Now, it's all going to come down to, what do I really want? Everything starts in the wanting, but we don't want to keep it in the wanting. We want to turn it into the knowing. But what you really want, you accept right now. You accept. Every idea is going to come from that acceptance, not from your old state. Most people are going in between states. They say, I want to turn my business and double my income. Then literally a few minutes later, they start coming from circumstances. You can't keep going, starting and stopping in states. You've got to live naturally at the state of what you want. How do we do that? We radically accept that idea. When I say radically accept, you have a conviction of what you want, and you're never worried about the how. Every time you're worried about the how, you're letting circumstances dictate how you think. Every time you're letting the circumstances control you, you're allowing the outside. You're living outside in, and you're never going to create what you want. If you're wondering, am I going the right direction? Your energy will tell you. You don't need to look at the results. It's easy to look at results. I'm not against you looking at results, but you never allow the results to control you. And right now in 2024, if that's what you've done, if you've been starting and stopping, if you've been coming from lack, abundance, you're going to constantly be creating a roller coaster up and down, and it's going to create a lot of frustration. But we've got to make your number one goal an obsession. An obsession is a natural state. It's always on your mind. Like my goal, I don't have to be reminding myself of my goal. It's a natural state. I'm always thinking about it. When something's natural, it just happens effortlessly. When we're forcing, we're pushing away. But we have to make your future a magnificent obsession. That's why for most people, affirmations don't work. For me, they work, but why for most people they don't work? You cannot affirm externally what you don't believe internally. That's why we have to accept it, and everything comes from your goal. Now, when you make the goal big enough and you come from turning the impossible to possible, you stop working from your past self. You stop working from your old life. Now we're not alienating ourselves and going from our old self and going to the state of where our new self is. This is where you're going to be open to inspired action. Inspired action is when you're relaxed, when you're trusting, when you've already accepted the idea, and you're going to get the ideas and paths to getting you to your big goal. But in order to do this in 2025, I want you to put all your chips on the table. I want you to go all in with yourself. Your results in 2024 will tell you how all in you've been. All of us can have a greater level of all in, but that doesn't mean we're forcing it. It's an emotional conviction, like this is what I'm doing no matter what. I am turning my annual income into my monthly income. But I want you to set a goal. Remember when I was talking about the mind, I said we can originate any idea. I want you to set a goal that is so big that you can't achieve it until you grow into that person. What do I mean by that? Any goal that I set, I know it demands greater focus. I know it demands that I have to upgrade my confidence and courage. Because if I had the confidence and courage already, I would have already achieved it. It doesn't mean you have to chase it. You just do it day by day. You keep upping your confidence 1% by the actions you take. Now, your goal must dominate all your waking hours. You want to know what's dominated your waking hours in 2024? Look at your results. It'll tell you. It will tell you. There's nothing more accurate than results. Results are a compass of what's going on inside of us. It's not happening by accident. It happens by exact law. The law works whether you're working backwards or you're working in harmony with it. Now, let's look at what you want to create. I only want to focus right now on the first quarter. I want you to write out exactly what you're going to create in the first quarter of 2025. And I want this in the present tense. I want you to write it out exactly what you're going to create. But when I say what you're going to create, that means what you're committed to creating in the first quarter. This isn't a wish or a hope. I want you to write exactly what you're going to create in the first quarter of 2025. Now, I want you only focused on the first quarter. If I can get you to create a quantum leap in the first quarter, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have momentum in the second quarter. But I want your standard to be, I create a quantum leap every quarter. I believe a quantum leap is created every 90 days. That's my standard. And if I can do it, you can do it. So I want you to really write out into existence what you're going to create. Why? Because you're opening your mind to new assumptions. You're opening your mind to a new life. but we've got to persist in it. And you cannot, going into 2025, you cannot commit to your circumstances. Your circumstances were created by your past self. What you do right now is what's going to create your future results. So let's take the best way to plan 2025. Okay. I want you to take full responsibility for the good, the bad, the indifferent of 2024 and live with no regrets. So I want you to write out, I'm going to give you one question at a time. Start by looking at what were the biggest quantum leaps you've created in your life. Just write them down. We want to start measuring the good. What were the biggest quantum leaps I've ever had in my life? We start measuring from the good, so we measure from wholeness. All right, question 2. What were the biggest lessons you learned in 2024? What were the biggest lessons you learned in 2024? Number 3, what was your standard in 2024? Not what you set it to be, but how did you live it? Your standard is something you live. What did you tolerate? Are you still needing to be liked? Remember, if you're needing to be liked, you're a prisoner to the outside. What was your standard in 2024? What did you tolerate? All right, let's go to number 4. What was the biggest adversity you overcame this year? What was that one adversity that you are so proud of that you overcame? Number 5, what were your greatest gifts of 2024? Number 6, what was the greatest thing that you did out of your comfort zone in 2024? Questions always cause us to think, but they measure the truth. You can never lie on these. And number 7, what were the most amazing things you accomplished in 2024? Number 8, what were your excuses in 2024? What were those consistent excuses that you really kept negotiating with yourself? This is going to tell you your hidden commitments. This is going to tell you your greatest programming that we want to change. What were you most proud of this year? What were you most proud of? And the last one, what was your greatest accomplishment of 2024? Questions are so healthy. Your true power always lies in reviewing these questions because questions uncover so many great truths. And you do it from a neutral perspective because you measure from the good. And it only focuses on you. Focus is an investment. Too many people are sabotaging themselves because they're constantly focused on too many things and they're always distracted. I want you to focus on the important few, not the trivial many. Now, we want to build a kick-ass vision of 2025. I want you to build a vision that you're coming from my confidence that you can do it. You don't have to believe it, but I believe that you can do it. Come from my belief. And I want you to write out a vision, and I'm going to have you do this on your own because a vision takes time. But I want you to put classical music on, put Beethoven on when you're doing it. And I want you to write it out exactly all areas of your life, how you're going to live in 2025. But I want you to do it in the present tense. The reason I want you to put classical music because it neutralizes your mind. This is a magical process. But I want you to, before you write the vision, I want you to come from the biggest assumption of yourself. The only thing you have to change is the perception of you. Change you, you're going to change your entire world. There is nothing small about you, so I don't want your vision to be small. I want you to think big. Now, do you know how to build a vision of what you want? Do you know how to build a picture? I'm going to show you this. Write this out before you write your vision. Put it on a Post-it note in front of you. I want you to write out exactly how you're going to live in 2025. And I want you to assume that it is already done. You are commanding that state of being. I want you to write your physical health. I want you to write about your spirituality, that I'm so connected to the spiritual essence of who I am. What type of vacations are you experiencing? Are they 5-star vacations, or are you cutting corners? Where do you want your career to be? Do you want your business to be thriving? If you're not in business, do you want to get promoted at your job? Do you want to upgrade your personal relationships? How am I going to create a better relationship with myself? What do you want to earn? How much are you going to commit to personal growth? If I could tell you anything, you have to work harder on yourself than you have to work on anything else. You take care of you, everything else is going to take care of themselves. And what type of fun are you going to have? You want to enjoy life. You want to be loose. What type of hobbies? Are you going to pick up a new hobby? Well, when you put this on a Post-it note and write an amazing script of your life, and then I want you to record this, and I want you to listen to it 10 minutes a day. Why? Because you're going to create a new programming inside. And then once you do the repetition with conviction over and over and over again, guess what's going to happen? Your outside's going to match your inside. You're going to literally change the way change happens by law from the inside out. But remember, goals are your vision of the future. Fall in love with your future. Design your life masterpiece. Make a decision with me today that 2025 is going to be your life masterpiece. Now, most people, if you walk out of the world right now, most people are fearful of the future. I want you to be sprinting to the future. You're going to create the most amazing future. If you're fearful of the future, you're always going to be shrinking. You're always going to lose out on one opportunity after another. The universe is all energy, so it responds to committed decisions. If you are not committed, I promise you, you're not going to get a lot of guidance. The price is easy once you make a committed decision. I want you to believe in you. I want you to believe in your potential. I want you to believe in my belief that if I could do this from where I was 17 years ago, so can you. Now, in order to do this, everything I want you to come from is your future self, not your current self. Your future self is so much wiser than you are right now. It's so much more mentally tough. It's so much more aware. It's so much more effortless than you are right now. Everything you do, I want you to come from your future self. How would my future self act? And I want you to act. How would my future self feel? And I want you to feel like that. What type of goals would my future self have? And I want you to set those goals. Now, this is going to demand you to think different. Like right now, if you want financial freedom and you're not financially free, you're going to have a massive transformation in your consciousness. You're going to have to get the right processes and get the right direction from people who really know what they're doing. And it's going to demand you to think differently. Now, going for a quantum leap in 2025 means you must eliminate, if you have a business, the existing clients that do not work, that are an energy suck. You must eliminate roles that you're playing in your life. What is it? Am I still coming from my old story? Am I still coming from my old story? Got to eliminate that. You have to eliminate behaviors that no longer work for you, which we did in the habit stage where I said, what habits no longer work for you? Playing it safe no longer works. I'm going to tell you that right now. Not having great masterminds don't work. Not having a great mentor does not work. I'm going to tell you that right now. And you have to eliminate old mindsets that you've outgrown. You've got to get comfortable in the new mindset. Now, becoming the best version of yourself is going to require you to, on a daily basis, 1% better to continually edit your belief and upgrade your image. You will never outperform your standards and image. I'm going to tell you that right now. And if you want to know where your standards or image are, look at your present results in 2024. They're telling you a story. Are you listening? Are you listening to that? Look at your goal. It demands a new story. Upgrade you. How do we do that? We build a bigger idea with ourselves. How do we build a bigger idea? We have to get so good with our I am statements. I am are the two most important words you can say. I watch people use I am so recklessly. I am stuck. I'm not good enough. Guess what? Your subconscious takes it and says, I'm going to go make sure you're not good enough. I'm going to keep you stuck. So that's how you're going to build a bigger idea. Write out your I am statements every day. Get in that mental rehearsal where you're visualizing 20 minutes a day, watching yourself speak the way you would speak in 2025. Watch yourself behave with much upgraded habits in 2025. Watch yourself experiencing what you'd experience. What would it feel like right now if you were financially abundant? I want you to feel like that. It's not good enough just to talk about it. You've got to match the feeling. The emotional state is critical. That's how you build a bigger idea of yourself. I want you to look at this slide. This slide is somebody tapping into the spiritual essence of who they are. And you notice all the light is inside at their heart. It's not outside of them. So many people are living so unconsciously from the outside. We've got to live inside out. This is how you're going to change your world. It's not out there that you have to change. You have to change here, right in your heart. Now, we want to write out what is your new story going to be in 2025. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have absolutely amazing habits. Every day, I only come from my future self. I come from the goal achieved. I create effortless success. I've turned my annual income into my monthly income because money is a habit. I have the most amazing, prosperous mental attitude, and I've absolutely transformed my perception of me. I only see me as I really am, which is big. I have unleashed greatness in my life. Now, that would be an example. What I just said would be writing out your new paradigm. And if you like that, take mine. Take what I just said. Now, in order to do this, we have to understand how we change our paradigm. Our results are a manifestation of our actions. Our actions are a manifestation of our programming. Our programming is a manifestation of our thinking. Until you change your thinking, your life is not going to change. So pay very close attention to this. Now, you have a conscious mind, a subconscious, and a body. Your conscious mind creates 2 to 4% of your results. Your subconscious creates 96 to 98%. But I can't get to the subconscious without the conscious mind. So they all have to work in harmony. Now, you have senses: see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Your senses are meant for you to enjoy life, not to achieve goals. Right now, you may be thinking your senses define what's real in your reality. All they're telling you is what you've consciously accepted. It's telling you how you've used your conscious mind. Now, your senses are so sensitive. They're connected like antennas to your conscious mind. And we've got to really get such great awareness of accepting and rejecting ideas from our future self. Now, how am I going to alter my vibration? You do it by coming from the goal achieved. You do it from thinking, feeling, and acting, not just when you do your morning routine. And if you don't have a morning routine, good luck. You have to have a great morning routine. And I recommend you follow ours. It's transformed thousands and thousands of people's lives. But until I change my vibration and stay on the state of what I want, I'm going to keep going in and out of states, and it's going to create a lot of frustration. So how do I stay and tap into that spiritual side and create my new consciousness of a life of freedom? I have to tap into my higher faculties. I have to use them. That's your memory, your perception, your will, your imagination, your intuition, and your reasoning. Now, most people have no idea what these are. They know what the word means, but they don't know how much they're impacting you. These are what are creating your paradigm. And they're all on your conscious mind. And your memory, I want you to bulletproof it so you only look at your successes. You keep looking at your successes. The greatest gift we have in life is attention. Whatever we focus on expands or grows. Your reasoning is your ability to accept and reject ideas. You're not accepting and rejecting with anything but your reasoning. So this is how you create discipline, by accepting and rejecting from your goal already achieved. Your perception is how you see the world. Perception is so closely rooted in mindset. Mindset is just how you see the world. Like right now, everyone's listening to me. Some people are more serious than others. Some people are like, I'm going to buy into this and I'm going to do exactly what he tells me to do. Others are like, just going to think about it. If you think about it, there's no results. Then you have your will. Your will is your ability to hold your number one goal on the screen of your mind without any distraction. Your intuition, the universe is always talking to you. The universe is not out there. It's an extension of your consciousness. So when you are getting an intuitive guide, trust it. And your imagination is the most miraculous tool. When you use it for you, you're going to create immense results in record time. So if you're not getting your results, I promise you, you're using your imagination against you. But what we have to do is focus on what we want, and we get emotionally involved. And we always think, feel, and act. You don't just think, feel, and act in the morning. You have to do it all day long. And the repetition of doing it, it becomes more natural, just like brushing your teeth. And you think from the goal achieved, and the repetition of doing it creates the new program. The new program creates inspired action. People come to me all the time, Arash, I don't know what action to take because they're in the way. They're trying to force it. Inspired action only comes by allowing. And the inspired action alters the vibration dictates what you attract. Now, what I want you to do is get in the habit in 2025 of what I call a weekly design. On Sunday, you spend an hour planning your day, your week already achieved by Friday. You already write out exactly what you're going to achieve, exactly what you're going to focus on, exactly what you're going to study. And then all week long, on Monday, you work with excellence. you work with focus, you work with expectation, and you work with swagger. On Tuesday, you work with excellence, you work with focus, you work with expectation and swagger, but always working from the goal already achieved. It is not out there. You are already doing it right now. You do this every week, you're going to transform your life. I have a great client who texts me sometimes after he does this on Sundays, Joe Kingcart. I'm so proud every time he sends it to me, because this changed my life. This is a process that is going to set you up to win big. Now, I want you, when you're planning, set your phone on do not disturb. Do not allow yourself to get distracted. Value yourself because you're creating your life. And remember what my mentor told me. You've got to start getting serious about what you want. You guys have to get serious about what you want. Now, these are the daily designs. You have to have a great morning routine. Wake up before anybody else wakes up. Your morning routine is an hour of building self-esteem. It's an hour of building new ideas for your day. It's an hour of self-respect. And it's discipline. I don't know anybody who wins big who does not have a great morning routine. And then you have your non-negotiables. I am not accepting any idea from my circumstances. That's non-negotiable. I am conquering myself. I am only coming from my future self. And I'm taking my 3 to 6 most important goal achieving activities from the goal. These are not busy work. These are your top 20% of activities that create 80% of your results. And then you practice the power of 5 all day long. What is the power of 5? Every decision I make today, I make from my goal achieved. Every standard, everything I say yes to is from my goal achieved. Every attitude is I'm looking for the good in everything. I'm coming from a grateful heart. Every discipline is that one discipline that I committed to changing the first quarter of 2025. You continue to do this, and I'm telling you, and you're going to think, feel, and act all day long, not just in the morning, not just parts of the day, all day long. If you don't think all day long like that, you're going between states. Now you're the state of the circumstance. You're going to create from the circumstance. You don't want to do that. Now that is the power of 5. I just showed it to you, but this is so impactful. Always coming from the goal achieved. Decisions, attitudes, standards, identity, you think, feel, and act, and discipline. This is how you do it. Every time you react to an event, you just came from your old self. You just altered your state. Like if you want to win big, you got to train yourself to win big. You're no different than an Olympic athlete or a professional athlete. They take care of their body, they take care of their routines and their processes. And that's what you have to do. Now, mental rehearsal, make it for the next 50 years of your life. I don't care how old you are. Make it, I'm doing this every morning for 20 minutes. Your imagination is where your limitless possibilities are. And you've got to go to the 4th dimension to create it. Now, you have to commit in 2025. I'm done doing the fake work. I'm done thinking about it. I'm done being separate. I'm done just reading books. I'm going to do the real work, and I'm going to commit with every cell of my being to create a world-class life. I'm not just going to do gathering information. I'm not just going to keep doing that. I'm going to create transformation. Now, repetition has got to be one of your identity-based behaviors consciously. I am constantly getting emotionally involved with what I want. I'm consciously working at my craft. I'm consciously working at my top 20% of activities with repetition. When you do that, you're going to change your programming. You're going to change your consciousness, and you're going to change what you attract. Now, on average, every individual, the research tells us, has 80,000 thoughts a day. Now, we've got to eliminate the negative thinking. A negative thought influences us 18 times faster than a positive thought. And understand what Carnegie told Napoleon Hill. Any idea held in the mind that is emphasized And here's the key. Emphasize. What does he mean? Convicted. He is emotionally involved with that idea, or she is emotionally involved with that idea, that is either feared or revered, will at once begin to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate physical form available. What Carnegie was saying is, you've got to focus on what you want and only accept ideas. And the repetition makes your want stronger, but it doesn't stay in the wanting state. It turns it into a desire. So every second, you're either choosing the negative side of your personality or the positive. You're either choosing what you don't want, you're choosing circumstances, or you're choosing how I'm living with my goal achieved. That suggestion is going right inside of you. We're just a broadcasting station. How we think and where our emotional state is what we attract. And the repetition over and over and over again of making what you want your natural state, like brushing your teeth, is going to make it so effortless. And you're never going to focus on the how. You know, if I just create the right processes, I stop screwing around with myself and get serious, I put myself around the right thinkers, I get the right mentors, I follow it to the letter, you're going to change your results. You're going to change your results. Now, let's look at this one more time. Our job is not to come from the five senses. Our job is to discipline the five senses. I want you to make this a practice in your mental rehearsal, but I want you to make it a practice when your eyes are open, that you see only what you would see at your goal achieved. You smell what you would smell at your goal achieved. You taste what you taste at your goal achieved. You touch what you would touch at your goal achieved, and you hear people congratulating you. Now, most people are letting the results control them. They're letting the circumstances get in their way. Now, you are aware now. In 2025, you are not going to let the circumstances control you, because you realize and you're aware, if I let the circumstances control me, every time I just drop my state. So I am a definition of a double binding message. So every time your senses says, see, here are the results, we're going to tap into our higher faculties and we're going to reject it with our reasoning. We're going to say, no, I do not accept that. When people are speaking lack and limitation, you speak abundance. When you get doubt, you bless the doubt and said, I don't need you to protect me. I'm good. You've got to get your inner and outer conversation so locked in to speaking how you would speak had you achieved your goal. And you are using that power to imagine yourself with your eyes closed and your eyes open. How you accept and reject ideas is how your imagination works with your eyes open. And you build only the image of what you want. Now, you know what you want for 2025. You wrote it out. Now, our job is not to keep it in the wanting state. The wanting state still says, I don't have it. But it starts with want. We have to know exactly what we want. And then we have to turn it into the knowing state. That's called desire. But wants create abundance. If you're not making it happen right now, it's because you've drifted from your want, because you never accepted the idea. And through the repetition, over and over and over again, of getting emotionally involved with conviction and being persistent with that conviction, is going to turn the want into a desire. Once it's a desire, it's a done deal. It is a done deal. And your desire is going to alter your vibration. Your vibration dictates what you attract. The image must manifest. But I want you to ask yourself right now, what is the process as my goals determine? Do you know that? That's why you got to get the right people in your corner. The only way to a better future is to make the present better. So you live from already achieving what you want. You live from already achieving exactly what you want. Now, nothing owns you. You're never attached to anything. It's either going to be what you wrote down or something better. The act of stepping away from fear is detachment. Every time you're attached, you're going to know because you're looking at the results. You're speaking the results. I don't like what's showing up. Every time. And all you're doing is sabotaging yourself. You have to develop faith. Faith is critical. I want you to really understand this. I wrote this down last night. Faith is not believing something will happen in the future. It's already here. Faith is accepting what you want as a fact and you deny what your senses are giving you. It is living from the end and feeling the results like you would have already felt them. That is what faith is. And this is critical. You must live from the end. Your actions, your attitudes, your standards, and your habits come from the end. Now, how do you constantly push yourself to your limits? You never do it alone. You have to do it by yourself, but you can never do it alone. I'm going to tell you this right now. And I will tell you, if you want 2020, I'm having a trouble with 2024, 2025. So if you want 2025 to be the best year of your life, you can't do what you did in 2024. I'm going to tell you that right now. And you maybe have gotten mentorship, but you didn't do anything the mentor told you. That's not the answer. That is not the answer. Most people are only doing what they're comfortable with. You've got to surrender to the process. And if you want to win big in 2025, I'm not just encouraging you. I'm telling you right now, you look at your want. How are you going to elevate yourself? You've got to get the right mentor in your corner. And ask yourself, am I set up to win? Stop worrying about how much it's going to cost. Come work with my team. Come work with me closely. I talked to a woman this morning from Sweden. She joined our Quantum Leap coaching program. I told her exactly to the letter. I said, I am so excited for you because you have no idea what you just set forth in your life. She has no idea. I know because I've done it. See, there's a difference between knowing and experience. Knowing is, I've heard this information. Experiencing, you've already done it. See, when you work with me, you're working with not just my experience. I work with the greatest mentor in the world in Bob Proctor. I gained his experience. I gained his mentors. So all my other mentors in my life. But mentorship with Voss Coaching sets you up for success. Just this year, we've transformed thousands of people's lives. Just in 2024. And if you don't believe me, go look at our success stories. Now, I want you, like I show Martha all the time. Martha's worked with me for several years. But this woman has massively changed her life. Go Google her. I always say Google her so you can go see all the amazing work she's doing. Don't take my word for it. But when I started working with her, she was in chaos. She didn't have a healthy image of herself. Now, she's an absolute trailblazer. You know, Daniel, he still is getting mentored by me. I've worked with him for 2 years. And Daniel has created a massive transformation for himself. But exactly what I'll tell you, what I told him, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. If you work with me, I always tell you, I get so many success stories, which I'm so grateful for. But I always tell them, what if I told you we were just getting started? Because that's exactly what's happening. And Stephanie is absolutely changing the interior designing world. I mean, this woman, I just met with her last week. She shared with me she just surpassed 6 million for 2024. I mean, that is an amazing accomplishment. Amazing. Now, that could be the next you, but you've got to be willing to get the help. You've got to be willing to stop going your old story of 2024. Now, I always tell every one of my clients, you did it. I just showed you. You did the work. And understand this, when I met Brent, he had just lost a partnership. He was starting over. He was in so much chaos. And I told him to start his own company. I said, forget about it. Start your own company. And he created a 7-figure business. Now, Jenna is absolutely amazing. I mean, she's a 7-figure earner in the health industry. She just went by herself to go see Taylor Swift. And she said, I wanted to do that for me. This is something she would have never done before. Her standards have absolutely went through the roof. You know, but when I share these with you, everything is going to change because it happens by law. Everything is inside of you. Everything is inside of you. You have a gentleman like Mike who had been working on this content for 10 years, wasn't making it happen. Then he got in my Quantum Leap coaching, just took off. Set yourself up to win. It won't matter to me, but it'll matter to you. It'll matter to you. You're already on your way to a breakthrough just by being on this session today. But I want to bulletproof you from not sabotaging yourself. I want you to really pay close attention to me. If you knew how to do it, you would have already done it. Imagine what is possible. It's time to take your life to the next level. Real transformation requires exact processes, the right mindset, accountability, because accountability is a success insurance policy. And if you're working with a great mentor, everything they're telling you at times is going to be counterintuitive. It's going to disrupt comfort. Why? Because they're doing it on purpose, because they know that's what you have to wipe out to go to that next level. Mentorship is the greatest cheat code. And if you don't take my word, I think Warren Buffett has created a great example of that. Warren Buffett says, if I was starting over, the number one thing I tell all my students, invest in mentorship. You can always measure what something costs, but you could never measure where it'll take you. Now, mentorship, any great performer has a great mentor. I have a mentor. I spent thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars this year on mentorship. Why? Because everyone has blind spots. Mentorship is what separates those who achieve massive results from those who stay stuck year after year. I want you to look at 2024 again. Was it different than 2023 and 2022? Did you create a massive quantum leap? If you say no, I'm telling you right now, you're cheating yourself by not working with us. But imagine this. I want you to imagine we work together, and you'll know whether you think I know what I'm talking about. Because the truth always resonates with the essence of who we are. But I want you to imagine that I bulletproofed your standards and your attitude. And you started looking at adversity much different. And you transformed every challenge into stepping stones. I want you to imagine that every second of your day, you're coming from your future self. You're coming from the goal achieved. And you're betting on yourself like I bet on myself every day. And you unlock your potential with proven strategies that are designed just for you. And you have a support system designed to keep you accountable. Now, I want you just to put this in your mind. But mentorship is what makes the difference in 2025. You're leveraging my experience. You're leveraging 17 years of doing this every single day. And you're leveraging my mentors and their mentors. Now imagine where that will take you. I want you to get into one of our programs. It is time for you to stop screwing around. You know, there's a thing that I think about all the time. I was telling Monica about this. The gentleman who really got me thinking this way was Jesse Itzler. He said the average person lives to be 78. I just took it up to 80. And I'm 48 years old. So the way I look at it is I have 32 more summers. I have 32 more Christmases. I have 32 more of my kids' birthdays, God willing. And we've got to start focusing on creating real transformation so we can create real amazing experiences. And, you know, it doesn't matter what age you are. I've worked with people who were 81. I've worked with people who were 21. It doesn't matter your age. It matters your hunger. You've got to want it. I can't want it more than you do. But that's what I want to help you with. I want to build your vision, your philosophy, your standards. I want to take your identity. Remember, identity is just the perception of you. But once you change how you see you, your world is going to change. I want you to create goals that are going to transform your life. And I want you to build discipline and action, because without discipline and action, nothing's going to change. But discipline and action do no good with a bad mindset. You have to have a great mindset. If you would like me to guide you step by step on your journey to create a life of freedom and achieve your goals faster, raise your hand. I mean, let's knock this out of the park in 2025. Let's stop screwing around with ourselves. Let's take this serious and create a life of freedom in 2026, 2028, 2030. Let's get you to live the way you're capable of living. Stop screwing around with your life. I'm going to show you the way, but you have to take the first step. I can't do it for you. You've got to be willing to say, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of going up and down. I'm going to commit with my whole being, and I'm going to surrender to Arash's processes. Now, gain the benefits of coaching. If you get in my Quantum Leap coaching, I have different coaching programs, but we're going to design it exactly for you. We're going to design it so you create an absolute 10x jump in 2025. But my Quantum Leap coaching is 12 high impact modules, monthly Q&As where you and I are just talking back and forth, personalized strategies and coaching, daily processes, and lifetime access. Now, I want you to think about your goal. If you have a goal to create the life you truly desire, now you got to really want it. And you know that having the right mentor is absolutely essential to help you get there. Why are you not doing it? Why didn't you do it in 2024? Like, don't make that mistake again. I want you to make your life bulletproof. I want you to set yourself up for effortless success. But I want to give you bonuses. I love rewarding people who take action because I told you most people never decide. I know it's not you. I want every single one of you to set up and get on a one-on-one strategy session. That's $1,000 value. I want you to have access to my freedom framework. That's $500 value. Why am I asking you to take action? Nothing works without action. Action is the most important thing we do. We can't say I want to change my life and not act on it. Now, take the next step because you're going to be glad you did. Your quantum leap right now is waiting for you. Then what you're going to tell me in a year, like my clients do, now I get why you say quantum leaps are created every 90 days. That is going to be your standard. I want you to imagine if you had everything in your life, what would it mean to you? One call changed my life when I was struggling severely. And I want you to understand, I bet on myself when I don't even know what I was doing. I thought it was so illogical at the time. But if I didn't do that, take that call, my life would, I have no idea where it would be. I watched so many people afraid to take that call. Take the call, get the right strategies. I don't care where you're at. I only care where you're going. Stop living from your circumstances. But I want you to ask yourself this question. This is a powerful question. What if 12 months from now, I was in the best shape of my life? What if I was financially abundant? What would that do for me? What if I never let anybody control my thinking? What if I never needed to be liked anymore? I was so comfortable with who I was. What if I transform my identity? Because I know until I transform my identity, nothing changes. What if? Don't play the what if down game. What if it doesn't work? It works for every single person if you do the work. If you do the work works. The ideas work when you work the ideas. What if you say to yourself, I don't have the time? That's a lie. Everyone has the same amount of time in a day. Well, Arash, you don't know. I'm busy. Trust me, I'm busy too. I know. But we always put effort into what's a priority. Our brain always works on what we have given it is the most important thing. And the most important thing is you. You are an amazing story, but what if I told you you don't understand you? And that's what's keeping you away from the life you really desire. What if it doesn't work for me, but it worked for others? What if it does? The only way it's not going to work if you don't work the ideas. But breakthroughs don't happen by waiting. You've got to do your part. I told you the universe is 99.999% energy, and the universe always responds to commitment. When you commit, the whole universe conspires on your behalf to make it a reality. Make the call. Fill out the form. Let's make 2025 the very best year of your life. But if you've been waiting for the right moment to transform your life, that moment is right now. I told you, right now is all we have. Now, I could give you 90 minutes. I don't even know how long we've gone. We've gone a little over 90 minutes. I can give you everything I have. Because when I changed my life, I wanted to help the world change. I wanted to change one person at a time. That one person is you. I'm not talking to a group right now. I'm talking to you right now. I'm telling you right now, if you will follow the exact directions of what I'm going to show you to do, you're going to transform your life. You're going to transform your life. But there's three types of people. There's the unaware, There's the aware and there's the effortless. I want to take you beyond awareness. I want to take you where you're trusting in everything. I want you to be calm and confident. I want you to create effortless success. Once you begin working inside my model, success happens effortlessly. What would it feel like if you created success effortlessly? Do you ever wonder why some people create so much success, whatever they touch turns to gold, and other people are constantly struggling? It's how they're programmed. We're either programmed automatically for winning and success, or we're programmed for losing. Wherever you are, you can always get to where you want to go. But you've got to work inside my model. The model is critical. Now, it's time. Today's the time. Take action today. It's time for your takeoff. Bet on yourself. And I bet on yourself because there's no one better to bet on. And then I'm going to tell you, bet on yourself tomorrow because there's no one better to bet on. And I'm going to tell you to bet on me because there's no one better to bet on. I care so deeply about this work. I care so deeply about every individual I work with, and I care about you. But you're not going to know it if you don't take action. Now, I want to thank you, but before I thank you, I want to wish you the most marvelous holiday season. I want to wish you the greatest 3 weeks of your life going forward. And I want to thank you for spending time with me. But I'm going to turn it over to my great friend, Monica DeMarin. She's an absolute powerhouse. She's a great example of what this work does. She leads our whole coaching division, and she has absolutely transformed her life. Mon, I'm going to send it over to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Arash. And I couldn't agree more. There's no better than you. You have changed my life, and this material has changed my life as well. How you simplify everything. And it was an incredible session for 2025 today. Today was preparing you for what's ahead. Today was building toughness. It was building clarity. Today was extremely intentful for 2025. Never underestimate the power of one call can have in your life. Never underestimate the power of 90 days of focus intensity with direction can have on your life. We wanted to help you make 2025 the best year of your life. And in order to do that, you'll have to get the right direction. You cannot keep doing the same thing. I knew many years ago, my way was not working. I needed direction. I needed someone with specialized knowledge that could help me. One of the first couple slides that Arash used today was you versus you. Why do you think he used that at the very beginning of this call today? It's because what this whole journey is about, it's about you. What we want you to understand, when you transform up here, everything else will follow through. You versus you means beating your own procrastination. You versus you means going against your lack stories, the old version of yourself. You versus you means not hesitating anymore, making decisions only from your future self. Sometimes your own thought battles, the battles that you're having in your mind, are more challenging than whatever results you're experiencing. And whatever results you're experiencing right now, it's because of your past thinking. So in order to change that, change your results, you want to make a massive shift in your thinking. You want to make a massive shift in your emotional state. Think about how often how you felt prior to this call and how different you feel right now. Your emotional state is fired up. I was getting so many text messages, people feeling inspired. They're feeling so excited for 2025. Being in this proximity is so contagious. Now, when you make decisions from your future self, that is abundant thinking. That's not lack or limitation. You're coming from possibilities. You're coming from limitless potential. So when you bet on yourself, that's a courageous act. You being here is coming from your future self. Now, what your responsibility is to continue to take action and keep aligning those action steps with your goal. Decide and accept those ideas. Transform your circumstances into a superior, better life. Ask yourself, why did you show up today? Truly ask yourself. There was something that you knew deep down inside you were meant to create more. You were inspired. Arash has given us so many tools where you can take and make your own game plan right now. And part of our strategy calls that we're going to have with you is how to take your notes that you created today into a game plan for 2025. Now, I used to take a ton of notes. I used to go to these things years ago and I would take notes, read books, take notes, but I did not know how to take my notes and implement direction through action with my notes as my game plan. So that's what we do. Being here present with us is reshaping your life. It's reshaping your thinking. There's no price on that. Now what you want to do is continue to take action, not just gathering that information. Transforming happens through the day-to-day activities. Our programs, I was thinking about this when Arash was explaining it. Our programs are so powerful because we give you those tools, systems to implement. You have proximity to this amazing material, and we show you how to simplify everything. Our programs are known for really digging down deep and unleashing that infinite potential that you have locked up inside of you. So just imagine now, we're in December. Imagine 6 months from now. That'll be June 2025. You will be in a completely different situation than you are right now. Completely different. This right here is a transformative process. It allows you to tap into that version of you. It's so powerful beyond measure. I knew many years ago my way was not working. I needed direction. I needed processes. I needed someone to show me how to implement this properly. So I want you to take the next action step. Arash said today, your life will change once you decide to change. When you truly decide, most people, once they know what they want, they never truly decide to accept it. They are unsure of what action and processes to implement, what's needed for them. We want you to make 2025 the best year of your life. And in order to do that, you will need to get that right direction. Set yourself up to win. Is all I can tell you right now. I encourage you to set yourself up to win by letting our team help you create your 2025 strategy session. So you want to take action from your future self. Your future self would get that advice. It would get that encouragement. It would get that direction. Having someone more aware of you with precise direction on what you need to do to create that quantum leap is life-changing. So I want to explain to you, our coaches will go through step by step and unfold for you on how to develop the right mindset, install every habit, the right skill set, the right beliefs, how to install the right disciplines to set you up for the rest of your life on long-term success and happiness, not just short-term, long-term. So we're going to give you that exact roadmap for your personal transformation on that call. We're going to go through exact programs that's going to be right for you to continue to multiply that momentum. So I want to also express to you and hope you have the best remaining 2024, and what's up ahead for 2025 is going to be what you decide to do from here on in. What you do matters. Every decision you make matters. Your choices, your thoughts. You always want to come from that future self. Do not overthink. Do not overthink. Don't procrastinate. You want to create and make those decisions within minutes, because when you think back on next year at this time, you want to look back and say 2025 was the best year of my life because I was bold and I was courageous and I took action only from my future self. All right, Mikey, I'm going to hand it right back to you.
Thank you so much, Monica. And please, everyone, help me give just a warm round of applause to both Arash and Monica. Today's webinar was incredible. I love seeing the chat, so many takeaways, so many current clients of ours in the chat just talking about their own transformations in some of our elite programs. And I want to leave you with this because I think Monica closed this out perfectly. So one final thought. If you have tried it your way, and you have only seen incremental change, or your years are looking the same year after year, try it our way. We want to invite you to take a call with one of our coaches and see what the plan looks like and accept a new idea and make 2025 look drastically different than previous years. Make it your best year ever, not just by a little bit, but by a lot. All right. I know that Arash went over a few testimonials during his presentation, but we don't want you to take our word for it. We're going to let you hear it from our clients themselves. So we're going to play a quick video for you. And before we do, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. It is always a pleasure to spend time with you. And I want to echo Arash and Monica's sentiments to wish you a very warm holiday season. So thank you for spending time with us today. And here's our clients.
It's really changed my life working with him and Voss Coaching Co. If someone is on the fence and they're not sure whether or not they want to do this, 100% you have to do this. Trust the process, trust yourself, know that you have everything in you, but Voss Coaching Co. is going to help it come out. It's going to help you up-level your self-image, your belief in yourself, the level of service that you are going to be able to give to your clients. It's going to change everything in your life. No matter what business you are in, it's going to make a difference. It's 100% yes. No matter what it is that you want to accomplish in your life, you will be able to accomplish it working with Voss Coaching Co. and Arash.
You work with Arash, he really has conviction and really knows what he's doing. When you work with him, you just feel his confidence, and that kind of confidence gets imbued into you. That allows you to go out and then kind of populate it into the people in your life. It's actually been beneficial to me because I've been able to have a much more close relationship with Arash. You know, he really cares about the people he works with. He really wants them to succeed. And so he's not looking to get, he's looking to give. A difference between him and a lot of other people in this space, I would say.
My biggest win working with Voss Coaching Co. and Arash has just been the accountability and the connection. Like literally, I know Arash cares. I've worked with other coaches before, and I feel like the dots are really connecting this time. Something when I sit with Arash and I'm on these calls with these other like-minded people, I'm doing the work. I'm repeating my affirmations. I'm doing all the things that Arash is suggesting, and it's been amazing. I really wanted to leverage my time, and since working with Voss Coaching Co., I've hired another interior designer. I'm getting much better at leadership. My team is flowing pretty well, and I've created really big goals for myself. One of my goals was to be published in Lux Magazine. I found out last week that I am going to be published in Lux Magazine, and this was literally from September when I was here at my first Voss Coaching Co. event to today. 7 months I was able to achieve my goal, one of them, and it's just so exciting. I would say if you want to live a life of impact and create big things and you want to be happy and fulfilled, you should definitely, no question, hire Voss Coaching. It has changed my life, and I know it will change yours too.
Always been exposed to coaches, mentors, information. A lot of this material that we talk about, it was presented to me at a young age, but I didn't know how to receive it. Didn't really mean anything to me. Those mentors and coaches, although they were trying to help me, they didn't resonate with me. And then I discovered Arash, Monica, and this information, and it all changed. It was exactly what I was looking for. Just be open to receiving mentors and good people in your life that you trust and have your best interests in mind.
I happened to be the first day seated at the front of the room, and Arash called on me to ask me what was it that I really wanted. And I had this dialogue that I was going to spill out. But in that moment, for him just asking that question, he broke something in me that allowed me to strip of who I thought I was and become vulnerable in that moment and just be so authentic in myself that I really had not been before. So he made me see really who I was and be truthful with myself.
So my name is Daniel Kelly, and I'm originally from the UK. A little bit about my background. So after university, I went into investment banking, and I worked for places like Goldman Sachs and Barclays, and I really didn't like it. And I wanted more of a life of freedom and living on my own terms. So I started my own coaching business, and I've been doing it for the last 6 or 7 years. And I specialize in mostly health and fitness and mindset as well. I would say that I've been studying personal development for more than 10 years. But in hindsight, when I got to know Arash, I realized I hadn't been studying it. And so I've only been studying it seriously for the past 2 years and really understanding these teachings that Arash shares. The biggest gain that I've gotten, I think, is honestly having more energy, because I don't beat myself up, I don't shame myself, and I have way more confidence in myself and my ability to achieve my goals. I think that joining Voss was one of the best decisions I made. Last year when I joined, I've been with Voss for over 6 months now, 7 months. And one of the reasons why I love working with Voss so much is because I really feel valued, and they care about my success. I've been in many different coaching programs in the past, and I felt like I was a bit of a number sometimes. And with Voss, it's not just Arash who is invested in my success, but other people like Mikey, Monica, and whatever they can do, they will help you succeed. And I think that having the accountability of a great coach and mentor, but not only the best, in my opinion, Arash is one of the best there is, has been tremendous in both in my progress towards my goals, but for me, mainly, it's becoming better as a coach and better at selling and selling my ideas to people. So in that regard, I've gone over and above what I expected to achieve. You think that you can know things and you've heard things before, but the fact is, if you're not applying them in your life and you're seeing the results, you don't really understand them. And the key to getting tremendous results in any area of your life is having a great mentor. And I truly believe that Voss is the best mentor that you can have. So don't sit on the fence and don't hold back, because if you invest in Voss, you won't be disappointed. You'll love the results that you get. So what I love about Arash is that he lives and breathes everything that he teaches. He's the product of the product, and he really embodies and really cares about his students' success. So I think that's one of the reasons why people are so loyal and want to continue working with Voss, because Arash is so invested in everyone's success and he lives and breathes what he preaches.
Keep stretching yourself. So if you achieve one goal, that's not the end of it. Then there's another one coming. There's always more to come. I'm more confident now in myself and in my capabilities from all that Arash has been teaching me over the years. I know I'm going to more places after this.
Working with Voss Coaching Co. and Arash, the experience has been great. It's been good to have a mentor whose conditioning and whose perspective I can really trust and go to with problems that I'm having, knowing I'm getting a very, very good solution for them. And working with Arash, he's just a good mentor that you can trust, who's not going to bullshit you, who's going to give you the real answer, even when it's the thing that you don't want to hear.
My biggest gain working with Voss Coaching is really my self-confidence and my self-image. It was really important for me to understand what is a self-image, because I had all the success in the world, but I didn't know that it was not a self-image. So I really built my self-image and feel now so strong, so powerful in what I do. I'm now a coach and I absolutely love what I do.
They say, when you're really ready to get the download, the right teacher comes, and he has been an amazing transformation teacher for me in terms of my mindset. And it just makes me feel so amazing that I have an amazing coach, Arash, that I can reach out to him or just look into his YouTube and be inspired and completely shift my vibration. And I told him, I said, please never stop, because so many people, he has no idea how many lives he changes.
I discovered Voss Coaching in January 2023 when Arash first started, and I contacted them, and as a result I joined the Millionaire Mindset, which was a 12-week course, and I found it was fantastic. So it's going very well. I found it fantastic. The course is absolutely superb. I couldn't recommend it enough. 20 years of listening to different mentors, and for the previous year I had followed Arash on YouTube. I'd say just do it. Stop talking nonsense. Just do it. Find the money, do it, come to it. It's super, and that is my honest opinion.
My advice would be to those that are on the fence, wondering to join the Voss Coaching program, would be to absolutely do it. Absolutely do it. There were times where I hesitated and waited to join and to get into certain things, where I was watching YouTube videos, and some of the content that goes out, there's no cost to me, there's no skin in the game for me. They helped, but they only took me so far. So when I was able to actually become committed and jump all in, not understanding how it was going to happen, how it was going to be covered and paid for, obviously the money wasn't an issue at that point, but still there was a hesitancy. So do it, and once you do it, I can almost guarantee you that there will be so much freedom in the decision that you've made towards your goals.
En